In the quiet, filtered light beneath tropical seas, where sunlight fractures into wavering ribbons and coral cities rise like living sculptures, the emperor angelfish moves with a calm authority that feels almost ceremonial. It does not rush. It does not flee without reason. Instead, it glides, aware of its presence and of the attention it commands, a living emblem of the reef's complexity and color. Known scientifically as Pomacanthus imperator, the emperor angelfish exists at the intersection of beauty and survival, a reminder that in the ocean, elegance is never accidental, and every pattern tells a story written by evolution. The evolutionary roots of angelfish trace back millions of years, to a time when coral reefs themselves were reshaping marine life by offering both sanctuary and competition. As reef structures grew more intricate, so too did the creatures that inhabited them. For the ancestors of the emperor angelfish, survival favored those that could navigate tight spaces, recognize territory, and communicate visually in environments where sound travels differently and distance is distorted by water. Over countless generations, these pressures refined a body built not for speed alone, but for maneuverability, awareness, and endurance within a crowded, living labyrinth. Few marine animals demonstrate transformation as dramatically as the emperor angelfish. As a juvenile, it bears almost no resemblance to its adult form. Young individuals are marked by bold concentric rings of white and electric blue, spiraling across a dark body like fingerprints left by the sea itself. This striking pattern is not merely decorative. It functions as a form of visual deception, signaling to larger fish that the juvenile is a cleaner species, one that removes parasites rather than competes for territory. In this disguise lies protection, a temporary truce granted by misunderstanding. As the fish matures, this illusion fades, replaced by the unmistakable stripes and colors of adulthood, signaling a new role within the reef hierarchy. The adult emperor angelfish is a study in controlled contrast. Horizontal bands of vibrant yellow and deep blue stretch across its body, intersected by a dark mask through the eye that enhances visual focus and reduces glare. Its dorsal and anal fins trail gracefully, edged with electric blue highlights that shimmer as it turns. These colors are not random expressions of beauty, but signals shaped by reef life, allowing individuals to recognize one another, establish territory, and communicate dominance without constant physical confrontation. In a world where energy must be conserved, visual language becomes a powerful tool. Habitat defines the emperor angelfish as much as its form. It inhabits coral-rich environments across the Indo-Pacific, from the Red Sea to the reefs of Australia, Southeast Asia, and Micronesia. These reefs are not static landscapes but living systems, constantly growing, eroding, and shifting. Within them, the emperor angelfish establishes a home range, often returning to the same shelters and feeding grounds day after day. Caves, overhangs, and coral crevices offer refuge from predators and strong currents, while open reef faces provide access to food and sunlight. Feeding behavior reveals another layer of the emperor angelfish's adaptation. Unlike fast-moving predators that rely on pursuit, this species feeds deliberately, grazing on sponges, algae, and small invertebrates embedded within the reef. Its specialized mouth allows it to pick and tear food from hard surfaces, a skill that grants access to resources unavailable to many other fish. In doing so, it helps regulate sponge populations, preventing them from overwhelming corals and maintaining balance within the ecosystem. Each bite, seemingly insignificant, contributes to the long-term health of the reef. Despite its beauty, the emperor angelfish is not without threats. Predatory fish, habitat degradation, and human pressures such as overfishing and reef destruction shape its daily existence. Yet it persists, guided by instincts refined through ages of change. Its movements are measured, its reactions calculated, a life lived not in haste but in harmony with the rhythms of the reef. As it disappears into a curtain of coral and shadow, the emperor angelfish leaves behind more than a fleeting image of color. It leaves a quiet lesson in adaptation, transformation, and the fragile strength of marine life. As the emperor angelfish continues its quiet passage through the reef, its life unfolds within a delicate balance shaped by time, instinct, and environment. Beneath the surface calm lies a constant negotiation between survival and vulnerability, a daily rhythm governed not by clocks or seasons alone, but by currents, light, and the invisible signals exchanged between living organisms. The reef is never silent, and neither is the story of the emperor angelfish, even when it appears to move without urgency. Every motion carries purpose, refined through generations that learned how to exist within complexity rather than dominate it. Social structure among emperor angelfish is subtle, almost understated, yet deeply influential. Adults are generally territorial, establishing boundaries that are communicated through posture, coloration, and controlled displays rather than outright aggression. These territories are not rigid lines drawn in the sand, but fluid zones of influence that shift with changes in reef health, population density, and resource availability. When boundaries are tested, encounters unfold like silent negotiations, with individuals circling one another, fins extended, colors intensified, until one concedes and withdraws. In these moments, strength is measured not by violence, but by presence. Reproduction in emperor angelfish follows the rhythms of light and water. Spawning often occurs at dusk, when the fading sun casts long shadows across the reef and predators begin to change shifts. Males and females rise together into the water column, releasing eggs and sperm into the currents in a brief, synchronized descent. There is no nest, no parental care, only trust in the ocean itself to carry the next generation forward. The eggs drift, vulnerable and anonymous, becoming part of the planktonic world before settling, if fortune allows, into the shelter of coral structures. Few will survive, but those that do inherit not only the vibrant colors of their species, but the lessons etched into their behavior by countless generations before them. The juvenile stage is a chapter of survival defined by illusion and patience. The striking spiral patterns that mark young emperor angelfish serve as more than camouflage, they are a visual language understood by the reef community. By resembling cleaner fish, juveniles gain a form of social immunity, allowed to move through territories that would otherwise be closed to them. This deception is temporary, a fragile agreement with the ecosystem that expires as the fish grows. When the transformation begins, the spirals fade, lines straighten, and the colors of adulthood emerge, signaling a shift from protected observer to active participant in reef dynamics. Predation remains a constant presence throughout the emperor angelfish's life, though it changes form with age. Juveniles face threats from a wide range of reef predators, from groupers to moray eels, while adults must remain vigilant against larger hunters that patrol the open water. Survival does not depend on speed alone, but on awareness and timing. The angelfish learns the contours of its environment intimately, memorizing escape routes and shelter locations, responding to danger with calculated movements rather than panic. In this way, intelligence becomes as vital as physical adaptation. The role of the emperor angelfish within the reef extends beyond its own survival. By feeding on sponges and algae, it helps maintain the competitive balance that allows corals to thrive. Without such grazers, sponges can overgrow and smother coral colonies, reducing biodiversity and weakening reef resilience. The angelfish's selective feeding acts as a form of ecological pruning, subtle but essential. Its presence signals a healthy reef, one capable of supporting complex interactions and long-term stability. Yet this balance is increasingly fragile. Coral reefs around the world face unprecedented challenges from climate change, rising sea temperatures, ocean acidification, and pollution. As corals bleach and structures degrade, the habitats that emperor angelfish depend upon begin to disappear. Overfishing and the aquarium trade add further pressure, removing individuals from already stressed populations. The loss of a single species may seem insignificant, but within the interconnected web of reef life, each absence echoes outward, altering relationships and weakening the whole. Despite these threats, the emperor angelfish endures, not through aggression or dominance, but through adaptability. It adjusts its range, alters feeding behavior, and navigates changing conditions with the same quiet resilience that has defined its lineage for millions of years. Watching it glide through the reef is to witness a form of survival that values balance over conquest, persistence over spectacle. In the end, the emperor angelfish is more than a symbol of beauty. It is a living record of the ocean's ability to shape life into forms that are both fragile and enduring. Its colors, patterns, and behaviors tell a story of coexistence within complexity, a reminder that survival in the natural world often belongs not to the largest or the fiercest, but to those who learn how to belong. As the light fades and the reef settles into its nocturnal rhythm, the emperor angelfish disappears once more into coral and shadow, carrying with it a story as deep and layered as the sea itself.